All right, welcome back. Part of our Disruptor series featuring a company today called WheelTug. And this is a new company that is disrupting the airline industry. It's very cool. They've created a new electric taxi system that will allow commercial jets to push back and taxi without turning their engines on. The company claims the WheelTug system can save airlines up to $1.1 million per plane per year. That's a lot of money. Veteran airline executive Bob Crandall has been following the company closely and tells us, quote, WheelTug is attractive and viable, and I'm considering investing, and I've recommended it to people active in the industry. Joining us now is Isaiah Cox, CEO of WheelTug. So when I have my little fishing boat, and it's got the engine on the back and a little electric engine in the front, you're basically doing that for airlines.
Right. We're making the airplane into a hybrid. So instead of using the engines to drive around, we use the engine in the tail, the APU, provides electrical power. And we drive.
What's APU?
The APU is there's a little turbine in the tail. If you look at the back of an airplane, a little hole, that's where the APU exhaust is. So that is what air conditions the airplane and what starts the engines, for example, during the pushback today.
But there's already enough power in there to do this?
There's enough power in there to drive the airplane, and our system the motor is less than 5 inches wide, but it can drive an almost 200,000-pound airplane at up to 20 miles an hour.
Using kinetic energy? I mean, how does
using the electrical power. So, in fact, you've got a picture here of the motors. There's a 737 picture, the 737 wheel, a normal one, and then a WheelTug wheel right next to it.
You know, we understand.
That's it right here.
Is this what we got right over
That's
here?
right over there.
I mean, it's very, very
Take
cool.
a look at this.
Same thing.
Let's show that. I mean, because
right.
The
wheel on the right there is the 737 wheel today. The wheel on the left is the one that you can see in the video we demonstrated in Prague last year, driving the aircraft around backward and forward.
What's
all the gate
different
maneuvers.
about the wheel itself, though? It just
inside the wheel is an electric motor.
Okay.
So it's a wheel motor. It's an old idea, but being able to do
why didn't somebody figure this out sooner?
It's very difficult to execute. Actually making it happen is much more difficult than the idea. I'm convinced that the Wright brothers, when they first pushed their airplane around, thought, hold on, this thing is designed to fly. How come it's so difficult to move at 10 feet? The WheelTug is designed to put the airplane in. The pilot has the control here with the unit to drive back.
And how much more fuel? Because you understand the idea of pulling that plane, right? A car, you use gas when you hit the gas. When you're at speed on the turnpike, you can generally, your gas mileage goes up. Same concept with an airline. I mean, when a plane pulls that jet engine and taxis out, is that where most of the fuel is burned?
So engines are very inefficient on the ground. And they burn hundreds or thousands of pounds of fuel in taxi.
Right?
There's a lot of drag, and sometimes just to break away to get the airplane moving, they'll move the engine up to 40 or even more % of the full throttle, which is an enormous amount. This is an aircraft designed to cruise at 30,000 feet.
Right.
And so you fly with that wheel on, so that wheel is
flies
in
with
the air.
airplane.
It doesn't get taken off before you fly.
That's right. It flies with the aircraft.
And who's doing it?
So we have 11 airlines signed up, 537 aircraft already reserved, including the likes of KLM, Iceland Air, Air Berlin, and others. And we're partnered with a whole bunch of companies that are making the components for us. So, for example, Parker Hannifin, division of Parker Hannifin, makes our wheel.
Here's what I don't get. You mentioned that it's easier this idea is an old one. It's easy to do that. It's actually implementing that. It's difficult, which I don't get. When you have somebody like Gordon Bethune who came through and decided take the olives off the salad so that we can save margins, you would think that this would just be a no-brainer. What's tough about implementing it? Actually making and creating it or getting the airlines to do it?
It's both. The industry is very conservative and very careful. It doesn't make decisions quickly because a bad decision can destroy an airline. So you make your decisions very carefully, very slowly, and so institutionally there's a lot of resistance to rapid change.
Does it add weight to the flight?
It doesn't add weight in wheels up, but the actual cost, we're talking about saving 700 pounds every single, $700 every single flight with the WheelTug system. The extra weight cost maybe $15.
How much does it cost to put the system in?
So we're giving it away for free.
What?
We're giving away the system for free, including spare parts, replacement parts, the works, in return for half the savings. So the airlines have no cash out, no capital expenditure. They put the system on, and as they save money, they pay us half the money.
Do you think they're going to be honest with you, Isaiah? Well, we didn't save anything. In fact, you owe us.
That's a good question. In here, there's an SD card that records the data, and we're able to accurately bill.
So you're going to be small data for you're going to know.
The advantage to an airline is if they change their mind, they can give it back. This is not a permanent change to the aircraft.
So you're based in Gibraltar, great nation of Gibraltar.
That's right.
But
Absolutely.
There's a rock there.
Part of the United Kingdom.
You mentioned, that's why you said pounds, not dollars. Right. You mentioned Parker Hannifin. So theoretically, if this takes off, pun intended, Parker Hannifin would benefit.
Absolutely. All of our partners will benefit.
Patented?
Many.
Can anyone? You said this was not a new idea.
The conception of an idea is old. We have a competitor, but their solution doesn't do what ours does. And the biggest advantage of the WheelTug is turnaround time. You spend less time. The thing passengers hate is waiting to get off the aircraft. That's the end. With WheelTug, you can drive the airplane without the jet blast danger, so you can use both doors all the time.
Isn't your main competitor that little cool-looking cart with the giant wheels that pulls the plane?
No, not really. The main competitor is a little company called Safran, merged with a company called Honeywell. They're competing.
Does this work on any size plane? Can you do this on one of the big double-decker?
So we did
a
demonstration. We did a demonstration in 2005 on a 767. And we have customers that are interested very much in 787 variations, as well as others.
Does your competitor also charge the same way, where basically this is an ongoing thing?
Because theirs is a permanent change to the airplane. It's a big capital expenditure. It's a one-way change. Okay. A one-way change is a lot harder. If you say to somebody, try this like electronic flight bag, the iPads they put in the cockpit, you can change your mind. You put an iPad in, you take an iPad out. You can't do that to a permanent change in the airplane.
Approved by the FAA?
Not yet. End of next year.
End of next year is the hope.
And I'll tell you, once you get, I know the CEO of a company called Heiko, which makes airline parts. Sure. We had lunch one time. He told me the process to get approved by the FAA takes forever, but once you're in like Flynn. And so for you, if you guys get in, that's a golden ticket.
It's a big deal. If we can save $1 million per year per aircraft and capture half of that as our end, we're going to do extremely well indeed.
Buy the Rocket Gibraltar with your money, Isaiah.
Thank you. That's what I need.